Hello, and welcome to August 1823 Stitchers. That's Sally.
And that's Angie.
And we are mainly a cross-stitch channel with a few other crafts thrown in.
Yes.
Today is Floss Tube number 11, and we're recording this on Friday, January 26th. One of our friends remarked that we're running a little late. And yes, we are later than we planned due to both of us having scheduling conflicts.
Yes.
But here we are, finally. So, without further ado, I think we should get on with it.
Well, I'd like to thank all those who are returning to visit with us. And if you're new, we hope you like what you see, and we'll subscribe, like, thumbs up, all that good stuff. We try to film at least twice a month. It usually averages around every 2 weeks. So you'll know where we're coming from. And we stitch all kinds of stuff. So we're going to start with, I'm going to run down our little agenda because I kind of like to let you know what we're going to cover. I've got a previous finish to show with some information. I have some fully finished objects to show. Well, Angie will do the stitching, so she'll have finished objects, and then she passes them on to me because I am the finisher.
But I have no finished objects.
Today, okay. Well, you know, it is near the end of January.
Unless you count a page finish. That's
I do have, yes, I have a page finish. Then we're going to talk about new starts, our works in progress, what we've stitched on since we last met, and then if stash enhancement. And then finally, we'll talk about our plans. Okay, so without further ado, many years ago, now, a friend of mine finished this for me, but this was a free pattern from the Karen collection. Uses water lilies, some Krynic. We got to pick our canvas and pick our colors, and then we stitched on it each month at our Embroiderers Guild meeting. And then my friend Julia fully finished it for me as a housewarming gift. And that's a previous finish. So, like I said, we stitched lots of different things, and that was a counted canvas piece.
Excuse me as I throw things all over the place.
Well, Angie, you said you didn't have any fully finished
Nope.
objects? Okay. I have a few fully finished objects. Some of them didn't get finished for Christmas. Our Embroiderers Guild chapter used some education funds to pay for a class in, let me get my glasses on here so I can read it. It's called Carrick Macross Lace. It's a form of needlework. It's a form of lace making, and the particular one that she taught is from the Carrick Macross region in Ireland. And then we made a Christmas ornament. And where did I put our board? I brought it over here.
I don't know.
It's right here in front of me. Yeah, talk amongst yourselves as I go off camera here. Okay, I'm back. So, basic. I don't know if you
I'm
can
not
see
sure
that.
that needed like a black one or
I
something
do.
behind it. Something black or dark.
Hang on.
There you go. That might show it off better.
Oh, yeah, there we go. All right, let me move that string out of the way. So, basically, what we did is we stitched on layers of, well, there is Irish linen and some, it's like netting, but it's not just your ordinary netting. It's special netting. And then you couch down a cord, and then you cut away some of the layers, and you leave part of it. That's where the solid white part comes in. And then, of course, I added some beads. There were also a couple of things we were supposed to put around the outside of the tree, but I struggled with making those, and I didn't include those. But I enjoyed the class. And then you just finish it in this plastic bauble we got from Hobby Lobby. It was a fun class. And then last weekend, it got really cold, and I happened to be in Joann's in their sale section, and I bought a skein of yarn because I wanted to see how it would work up. It's called sorry, you don't want to see the seam in my hat. All of the Violets, And I still need to work on my pom-pom because I didn't have my yarn scissors. I had my needlework scissors. But this is the Easy Peasy Beanie pattern. And it's a free pattern on, you can just look up Easy Peasy Beanie, and you can get the pattern to make from a size preemie up to a adult male.
Is that a Ravelry pattern or?
No, it's a it's just a free one. It's like a .com or whatever. Just look up Easy Peasy Beanie, and yeah.
Peasy spelled like easy.
Mm-hmm. I will try to look up that link and put it in the description box. And then I had shown this as a finish last time. This is Silent Night. Yeah, sorry about the reflection. But I got the frame from our Goodwill for 99 cents. And I thought it worked out pretty well. I'd always wanted to stitch this piece and finally got it stitched, and now I can display it. It'll probably stay up all year long. And then many years ago, I stitched this one. I drink and stitch. And of course, margaritas are my favorite alcoholic beverage. Well, that and fuzzy navels. But I added some beads to the top to look like the salt on a margarita. And this was, I picked this up at Hobby Lobby for not a lot of money. And I like the fact that it has a little bit of depth to it. So I could put something here. I'm not sure what though. And then earlier this month, we had our Embroiderers Guild meeting. Just double checking to make sure I have it. Yes, I was looking at my list. And this year we're doing a year of techniques, and we're using the petite projects to do that. So in January we talked about a Cissy, and as a sample I had them work on an alphabet, and I picked S because my first name starts with an S. And then I just finished it on the button using Sew on Wednesday's tutorial on how to do that. And then I put a magnet on the back to make it needle minder. This is on 22 count fabric, but I did it stitched 2 over 2, so it's 11 count. Okay. I have no fully finished objects yet. I have some page finishes, but that doesn't.
You mean finished objects?
Yeah, finished. That's what I meant to say. Sorry. Too many F's there. Can't even read my handwriting. I do have a new start. Angie, do you have a new start? Okay. Well, and I'm playing around with this new start, and so, excuse me a second, let me find the right bag. Like I said, with the Embroiderers Guild, we're doing a year of techniques, and we're using petite projects to do that. So the petite project I'm working on is the Cissy Dogwood. Again, there's a glare. Now, when I first looked at this, I thought that was green behind the dogwoods. It's not. It's gray. And then there's a pink. Well, the pattern suggested that you either use pink or white. And back last year in one of my like Needle Society boxes, the one that's called Stitch Like a Flamingo, okay, it included a piece of pink fabric from, and I like Lugana, so I usually ask for Lugana. I don't think you need this piece of paper here, which is some information about flamingos. But the person who did the fabric, dyed the fabric, it's Laura's Fabrics, and the color is called Flamingo, which makes sense. It's a pretty pink. And in that box, it also included a thread from Live and Die LA called Pretty Flamingo. And excuse the
hanging tail.
Yeah, the hanging thread, because you know I just didn't cut it off. And I'm still, it's a work in progress. For the gray, I'm using the variegated DMC, which is number 53. So yeah, there's a giant dark circle there in the middle. They suggested you put the darker around the middle dogwoods. They also suggested you start in the middle and work your way out. Well, I didn't want to use this whole piece of fabric for it, so I worked till I could get to doing some of the outlining for the Cissy. Technically, this is a Cissy with backstitch. You can also have a Cissy without backstitch. So that's my new start. Anyway, I'm again playing around with that variegated gray. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go into our works in progress. And Angie, I'll let you start.
I have 3. How many do you have?
One. Let's see. I have 6.
Okay, so how about you do 2 and then I'll do 1.
Okay. All right. Well, first up is my progress on my Sunday stitch. And sorry about the zipper. I'm not as good as Angie, and I didn't unzip ahead of time. This is from, yeah, they're hanging threads here because I did a page finish. And it goes on to the next page. This pattern is from the book, Heartstring Samplery Sunday Stitches. Yes, it's a collection of favorite hymns to stitch. And I'm currently working on the what on the back. It's called Ofu. It's called In the Garden. I should know that. It was my mother's favorite hymn. And I folded over. I have gotten half of it done. And I'm using the DMCs. And I really like it. It's very colorful. It's very relaxing. So I've got 2 more Sundays that I can work on that. And then I'll start my Lenten stitch. I was going to say Advent stitch, but I had to change that. Oh, okay. Let me hide that. And then I was in the mood for some summer. It was cold last week. So...
Cold for South Carolina.
Yes. So I pulled out Summer Quaker. Yeah, that's right. And I got, now because of my fabric, I usually measure in 3 inches and start that way, but because my fabric was going to be just a little, I wasn't going to have 3 inches. I actually started in the middle. Let me fold this up just a little bit. All right. And for those of you stitching on Summer Quaker, you know how large it is. So my little picture is not going to be that large. But I worked on some of the sails. And then I filled in there are 2 different blues in here. And so I filled in those. And I got the darker blue in. And there we go. This is on a 32 count. There's a picture of this plus fabric. It is, well, I can't read my... I've written it down. 32 count Legacy Lugana from Picture This Plus with the DMC threads. And I think it calls for all DMC. All right. Okay.
Well, speaking of a Cissy stitching, which is spelled A-S-S-I-S-I, by the way, if you want to look that up. And a Cissy stitching is where the design is the unstitched part. And this January month to month was full of a Cissy stitching in the barn. And so I had 2 unwelcome visitors this month of January. Senor Frog and Mr. Arthuritis. Both have played havoc with my stitching this month. Winter is always very hard for me to do anything except try not to moan and groan. Plus I have something called SAD, which means that season really affects me.
I have that too.
Yeah, so
this
this barn took me as many days as doing the full other months have taken. So finally got the barn completely done. The weather vane and everything is completely done. And I'm sorry, but I can't do any more. I know that January is still going on, but I probably won't stitch at all if I have to work more on this thing. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but there are 7 snowmen in this thing. I hate snow. I moved to South Carolina and stayed in South Carolina because I don't like snow. Don't like snowmen. I don't like anything to do with snow. And there's a mama and a papa snowman and 5 little baby snowmen, and I'm putting it away. It may never be done. I don't know. I just have that much of an angst about
Snow?
Snow.
Well, maybe in the summer when it's really, really hot.
Maybe,
You
but
might stitch
seriously,
your you doubt
doubtful.
it. Well, if you need me to, I'll stitch your snowman for you.
The entire time that Senor Frog was visiting in this one, the song "A Froggy Went A-Courtin' and He Did Ride" kept going through my mind. Now I don't know if any of you have ever grown up singing that old boat song, but I'm from West Virginia, like I said before, where there's a lot of Scottish heritage. And so, of course, we sang "A Frog He Went A-Courtin'." It has 19 verses. And in school, we were taught this song. And we sang every single doggone one of those verses. And when I look back at it during this month, while I was looking at it, I thought, gosh, I never thought of this song as violent when I was growing up. But it's about this frog who goes to court Miss Mousie, wearing a sword on one side and a pistol on the other. And he has to ask Uncle Rat for permission to marry her. Uncle Rat tells her that she has 3 other suitors. So the one that's left standing is the one that gets her.
Oh.
So Mr. Frog, he went and killed the other 3 suitors. Then they finally get to the wedding, and during the wedding supper, some of their wedding guests try to kill them, try to eat them, like the big black snake and, you know. And I'm thinking, why was I not traumatized as a kid when this song was going on? I had no idea. You know, nowadays, they would say that was violence.
Yes.
But
well, you know, Cinderella, the original Grimm's fairy tales, the original ones, when you read
well,
those.
we didn't read those. Normally, we saw Disney versions of them or
I
read the little golden books versions.
I read some.
I did. I read Hans Christian Andersen's Little Mermaid and was a little bit traumatized when I think I was 11 years old when I read it. Dad got me all the Hans Christian Andersen fables and folk tales. But, you know, nowadays, I would think
that would definitely be banned.
Yeah. Well, considering kids play video games that are much more violent than that, but
and
still
more realistic. You know, it's not pixelated like.
I just never thought of that song as violent until I started singing it this month and went, what in the world? Okay, that's one of my whips.
Okay, so Angie and I are both working on this Sal. Is
her more than me.
Well, I'm
gonna start along.
Anyway, it's being hosted by Laura from O'Shea from Stitchin by the Shore, and it is the Long Dog Samplers Fish and Ships, and I am currently stitching. I'm stitching it on Fiber on a Whim 18 count sand with DMC 958, and I got a page finish, and my goal is to do a page a month, and then I should be finished in about 4 months.
I love that color.
Well, thank you very much. I just kind of picked it and kind of went with it, but you know, it's an enjoyable stitch. I pet sit on the side, and sometimes I just need something that is not distracting.
That's DMC, right?
Yes, that is DMC.
That's so pretty.
Thank you. 958. I think it's called seafoam green or something, or medium. I'm not sure exactly, but it's an enjoyable stitch. And yes, there were a couple of stitches I went over into the next page, but it's not gonna
sometimes
matter.
The anal.
Well, and if I have the thread in my needle instead, well, not always, because as you can see with in the garden, I didn't really care. I had the strands going from there, and then I'm gonna come back to that one.
Okay.
I did that one. Okay, and then I have had this Dimensions Beach Ornament Kit for a while. And let me take my pattern off because anyway. And yes, there's a thread on it. And in fact, the needle is not even, I didn't even pull it through. And so let me do that real quick. I'll pull it to the back. Now I know where this size hoop is. Okay, so I haven't gotten, I guess you probably want to see what it's going to look like. It's going to look like this when it's finished. And I'm using the kit fabric and the kit threads, which they're whatever Dimensions uses. It's a 14 count. This happens to be a 14 count blue Ada, and just ignore that tail that's in the middle there. So I've gotten two, I'm working on, and that, I have to make sure that, yes, that's the right side up, because there's a chair coming in here. So I've gotten some of two colors. I'm sort of color completing, but not 100%. It just kind of depends on where the stitches are that I need to finish. So that's the dimensions. It just says beach ornament. All right, that was my two, right?
Okay. Well, the next one I stitched on is my Sunday stitch, but I only stitched one Sunday, thanks to Mr. Arthritis. So this is His Name is Jesus, and it's put out by Joyful Expression, and it has all the different names of Jesus on it. And I'm using, most of the time I just use basic white. I'm starting to get into more hand-dyed fabrics, but anytime I don't tell you and it's basic white, it came from Hobby Lobby. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I'm using 3 DMCs. I'm using 321 and 728 and 791. Sorry, folks, I cannot read backwards. Well, I think they're very pretty together, very royal looking, which is what I wanted
very
for
saturated.
Jesus. So the I think the needle minder came from Maggie's Minders, but don't hold me to it. I tend to get a lot from her, though. All I finished was the way. No, I did the way before. All I finished was Omega. And I kept saying, why does it say mega, mega, mega? Because I thought that circle was just a loop for the M. And then I stitched it and went, oh, mega. Okay. I should have known that. I was just brain dead or something. I don't know. But anyway, I'll be working on this. I hope to finish it this year. So I'll just work on it one name at a time when I can.
Alrighty. Well, I said I was doing some dog sitting, so last week I did, and again, ignore the hanging threads. I need to finish that stitch before I put it up. And I can't tell you whether I'm upside down or right side up. So I have this Riolis kit. It doesn't, to my knowledge, it doesn't have a name. I don't think Riolis kits do unless it's in that foreign language.
They have a number normally or
they
something.
They do. Well, yes, this one's $15.92, but I call it cat in window with yarn because that's basically what it is. And it's a Riolis kit, so you know they use the it's not a DMC floss, it's a wool acrylic blend, and I'm practicing my in-hand stitching, so I haven't gotten a long way. Oh, now I know how to. And again, ignore the threads that are hanging because you can tell I just stopped almost mid stitch. And here's how far I've gotten. Just part of the window frame. Actually, it's just half of the window frame because there'll be another one coming over here. Yeah. And it's stitched on the kit Ada, which was 14 count white Ada. This is Weigart Ada. And then a wool and an acrylic yarn. Okay. And then the last whip that I worked on is an old pattern. In fact, it's out of print. So I happened to, I did a search, or I put it in, found a lady on Etsy. Yeah, I was like, duh, brain fart. I'm looking for my picture there. Oops, there it is. I have all these copies because the pattern you unfold, and so I make a working copy. But it's the Angel of Love, and all of this in here is beads. And then there's some metallic stuff. So I worked on, okay, I'm definitely gonna need our board for this one because the linen I'm working on is
Might have to hold it way back.
I may. We're going to see what happens. Let me see if I can't get this. So, last time you saw it, I had, this is opposite. So I'd had this part down to here and probably here. And since then, I've added all of this in the blues. And that's about 4 or 5 colors of blue. And then yesterday I did, before I took it off the squirrel rides, I put a little more, there's a beigey color in the wings in here. So I put a few more, I put a length of thread in that because that's boring. But,
and it's white stitching.
Yeah, that and beigey stitching. But at least you can see it because of the fabric. But all these empty spots in here and these little vertical, that is this gold, not fun to work with thread. It's a beautiful effect. But that's going to take me a while because I like long lengths of thread, but I'm going to have to use short ones for that one.
Okay, Jack, just a minute.
And that is worked on 28 count amber linden by Witchell with the called for DMC and the beads and the cryneck and whatever specialty there is I need. And those are all my works in progress.
So this is what I spent most of my time stitching on. It's Wonder Whale by Forrest Embroidery. And I've stitched it on 18 count Ariel Ada that I bought from 123 Stitch. But I've changed every single thread but the dark gray outline of the whale. Because as you see from the picture, see how pale and autumny the colors look? And I wanted it to pop. I wanted it to be more tropical looking. So I basically saturated each of the colors. I mean, if it called for yellow, I chose one, but it was going to be, you know, this yellow. It was, you know, not going to be something boring. I don't do boring very well. So this is, I got a page finish. And this is where the Wonder Whale is right now. There's 4 pages and I've finished 1 page so far. And I'm deep into another page.
Raise it up just a little bit.
Raise it up?
Go upward, yeah. See, the phone creates a shadow.
Well, maybe I should bring it back some so it, there we go.
There you go.
So again, the needle minder is probably from Maggie's Minders. If I basically do Maggie's Minders and Gina's Unique Boutique for my needle minders, what few I have. Anyway, that's what I've spent most of my time stitching on. Visit Senor Frog tried to get me there too. And if you're new to stitching, frogging is when you are ripping out threads that you have worked so hard to stitch. And so, you know, rip it like a frog.
Yeah. See,
it's not an acronym or anything like that. It just comes from the motion of ripping.
well, and Angie is of the, she is Team Frog It, and Sallie is Team Fudge It, unless it's really going to affect the pattern. Like with my Angel of Love, the blues, if I hadn't done those correctly, it would have messed up the shading part, because that's the beauty of that piece, is the shading. Okay.
So those are all our stitching for the past few weeks. And what's next on our agenda?
Stash investment.
Stash investment. Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, you and I have similar bags.
I have 1 bag from this place and 1 from another place.
I just put everything in this bag.
Oh.
It just made it easier.
We went to Barefoot Needlework last Friday.
Yeah.
And this is what you get when you go to Barefoot Needlework. You know, you get the little sticker on the bag. And I had a gift card that I got for Christmas.
I did too.
As well as a $10 coupon that I'd earned from all the previous buying that I had done. And so I really only ended up spending $6 by the time I was done.
I only spent
out of my own pocket.
$39. I had a gift card from Barefoot, and then one of my dog customers had given me a Visa gift card. So I had $50 of someone else's money to spend. It was nice. You want to go first?
One of the things I got was fray check. Now I don't normally, I'd rather serge, but I've got this fabric that I'm using for the months that even after the serge, they're fraying. So I got some fray check, because the fray check I had was decades old and effective. Are we going piece by
Let's
piece?
do popcorn. Yeah.
Okay.
That'll work. So I picked up Primrose Cottage's, what is this? Sip, Stitch, Repeat. I was watching Two Needles Pulling Thread this morning, or yesterday, and they were talking about how they would change the colors. It looks really Christmassy, but you could use whatever colors you wanted to. Because, yes, it's got reds and greens. I'd probably change it to purples and blues.
They had this magazine, Stony Creek Cross Stitch. Normally that's way too many projects for me to even consider, but these were projects that spoke to my heart. So these were all Christmassy ones, but what really got me was this one that said, remember to keep Christ in Christmas. And for that alone, I would have paid the $8.49 for this magazine. But inside, I thought it was, yeah.
Table of contents.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Lots of projects.
definitely worth your money for all these little Christmassy things, and a few of them are Christian, so I could definitely buy them. One thing I won't be doing is anything with a snowman. Not happening. Okay.
Well, there were two main things I wanted to pick up, and that was some fabric, and Barefoot Needle Arts is our LNS, and it's still an hour and a half away. But a friend of ours had taught a class for our Embroiderers Guild, Cissy Baily Smith, and then she had this antique needle holder. It's a shoe, and so she reproduced it. And the beauty, what Cissy does, what's nice about Cissy is she doesn't. This is all hand put together. You don't have to use a sewing machine for it. Now I did not order the Gloriana silks. I used, I've kitted it up with DMC, and I probably won't use Dupioni silk, but I'll find something similar. And I'll use comic book board instead of Bristol board to give it some structure. But it's stitched on, hers is stitched on 40 count light exemplar linen from Lakeside Linens, but 40 counts a little tough for me to see, and linen also. So I ended up getting a piece of 40 count Verdal or Verdal, I don't know how you pronounce it. It's an even weave 40 count, and it's from Mystic Fabrics, and the color is All the Things. And then the other thing I wanted to kit up was Karen Kluba's High Tide. Now, I'm going to have to do some converting because she's got some DMC, but everything else is either Week, Style Works, or General Arts, and she didn't give a conversion. So I'll have to come up with my own, which is fine. I've got the DMC card, and I can look up what the overdyed is, or I can use someone else's conversion. But the piece of fabric that's on is a hand-dyed fabric from, I want to say Under the Sea Fabrics, but I wasn't going to have her hand dye that for me. So I'm okay with stitching on a nice pretty blue. It is an Under the Sea fabric, but it's called Nephthys, Nephthys. It's a 28 count Jobelin. This is this pretty blue. It'll be pretty on that too. It's got some modeling, but it's not heavily modeled, so it won't take away from my stitching. Oh, sorry, I know I did two things, but they're both fabric.
The only other pattern I got at Barefoot Needle Arts was Crab Dance by Tiny Modernist. And I snapped it up, for one, because I don't do half stitches or quarter stitches or specialty stitches. This was just all full cross and a little bit of back stitching, teeny little bit.
I'm gonna kind of do these all at once. In one of their little bins, they had some 5x5 inch pieces of fabric. This one is Ghoulish, and it's a 28 count Jobelin. Arctic Sea, 28 count linen. AINE, a 25 count Lugana. I'm gonna probably practice some 1/1 on that, because 25 count. Here's a 16 count Ada called Nessie. I've seen people stitch on Nessie. Let's see. Oh, my favorite movie is The Princess Bride. And this is As You Wish, 36 count Edinburgh. Let's see what else I've got. I've got HECATE, 28 count Lugana. That's got some pretty modeling in it.
Heckity. Witchy.
Olympus. And that's a 32 count Jobeling. And then I picked up a piece of Astraeus, and it's a 16 count Ada. Looks like that. So those are my fabric pieces. Purple is my favorite color, so I picked up some Lady Dot Grape Fizz in the pom-pom trim and the chenille. The mini pom-poms and the chenille. Oh, I also picked up some tape measure ribbon for finishing.
I really went to Barefoot Needleworks for fabric because fabric is really hard for me to buy online, and I don't get to go out all that often. So I was looking for one special piece anyway for my lint stitch, which I don't have with me right now, but February 14th is the first day of Lent, and I wanted to have everything all ready. I've got threads. I also bought the threads to go with it. I changed the colors up. The colors were supposed to be yellow and green and brown.
I've got the pattern. Let me find it.
And I changed them to purple and yellow and brown. Is that purple? Where'd my purple go? Well, I don't know where my purple is, but I changed the flowers. And especially the main thing I changed was the writing for when I survey. It's supposed to be like a dark green, and I changed it to a dark purple.
There we go.
And I've got more purple in the flowers as well.
So this is the pattern, and I'm going to do this one too, but I haven't kitted it up yet. I've got 2 weeks to get it done. I'm sure I have something in my stash that I can use.
I thought I did too, but I couldn't find anything that spoke to me. So what I've got is From Under the Sea. Wait a minute.
Is that the one you did? Yeah.
I thought the one I chose was Illusions.
It was a purple. Is that it?
I can't see in this light. This is it.
Oh, okay.
Illusion.
Oh, Illusion.
From, is it also Under the Sea? Mystic Fabrics. This one's Mystic Fabrics. So look at all that. I don't know if you can see all that coloring that's in it.
It's got green and some purples in it.
Yeah.
Our lighting, we don't have anything fancy set up, so
it's all getting washed out a little bit, but you can see the modeling, at least in the camera, and it's going to be pretty with those purples and greens and yellows that I selected when I did my floss toss at the store.
Definitely.
And the other piece of fabric I end up getting, not for anything specific, but just because I like to use blues. A lot of people use browns as their neutral, but I use blues. This is almost a blue lavender. This one is from Under the Sea. It's called Eros. And it's a lot of shades of blue and lavender in it. And again, it's being washed out, so more gray than anything. But I couldn't pass it up. You know, I didn't go for a specific piece. Got another piece that I can try for other things.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, that is a pretty piece of fabric.
So
it might actually get in my bag.
That's everything from Barefoot that I got.
Well,
you have more stash, right?
Yeah, I do. I put in an order for 1, 2, 3 stitch because why not? No, I am gonna over Christmas. Of course, over Christmas. Let me start and get in frame here. A lot of Etsy shops have sales. Well, there was and I showed this pattern last time. It's called Baubles on the Beach, and it's a full coverage. So I've never actually used gridded fabric, but I did get a piece of 18 count Easy Guide, Easy Grid from 1, 2, 3 Stitch. I mainly, what caught my eye was I was on they sent out their sale, and they had Riola's kits on sale, and I'm a sucker for a snow globe, and this one's called Winter Wonderland or Winter Fairy Tale, and again fully kitted. It's got that thread, but it's a snow globe, and it is beautiful.
I placed an order with Stitchin Sisters Craft the Notions on Etsy. And the first thing that's in it that I got from them, these are felt pieces that you put underneath the Q-snap things, because as you saw with January, it was fitting very loosely. And sometimes the Q-snap will get kind of loose on certain fabrics, so you put this in to stabilize, so it will keep its tightness. And I also got, the first time I got needle minders from them, they had Super Mario, which you know what piece that's going on. You'll see that in a minute.
Yes.
And also this one that says, Life Begins After Coffee.
Oh, I like that one.
And I thought, well, I don't have a coffee piece, but I can certainly use that on something.
For sure.
So, and I got one other thing from them. You can go ahead.
Okay, well, I again picked up a few more patterns. Quirky Quaker Cardinal, excuse me, from Darling and Whimsy Designs. And then I've been looking at these for a while, and they were on sale. So I got the 12 months of the Heart and Hand. These are called, they're called Monthly Mania. So you got January, which is Angie's favorite item to stitch. February, March, April, which is a bunny, May, June, July, August. I'm glad they put a beachy thing in August. Usually you get sunflowers. September, school, but in South Carolina, school starts at the beginning of August.
Actually, in July now.
Well, the teachers get back in July. It could be the last day of July. Yes, it depends.
Kids went back in July this year.
That's true, they did. October, November, and then
Another
December.
No, definitely would not do that.
That was Santa. That's Santa.
Oh,
Which you don't do Santa.
I don't do Santa either. So,
so that was my order from 123 Stitch. I did do buy some PDFs. I went online and bought some PDFs. You got something else you need to show?
Well, from Stitchin Sister Craft, I get my grime guards. So I like to get grime guards that are 8 by 11. And so I got this one because a lot of the pieces I have blue or watery scenes in it. And I got a rainbow colored one, which can work because I do a lot of tropical as well. So that's the end of my haul.
I just have
a
few patterns. I actually have 3 South Carolina patterns, but I obviously didn't print the third one off, and I'm gonna have to hold them back because they don't have a cover page. These were PDFs, so there's one. This one's got the tree, and it's really pretty. And then this one's got a waterfall. Okay, and then I ordered or I downloaded. This is Ardith Designs, and it's the Dustpan Quilting Company. It was inspired by Carol of Saltbox Stitcher. She stitches a bunch of samplers, but anyway, Amanda May has a quirky sense of humor, and I really like it. Okay. Well,
that's the end of our stash acquisitions.
Yes, it is.
So we move on to plans. And I just realized I didn't write on my plans this one, so I'm going to say it before I forget it. February 14th begins Lent, so I don't know if we're going to do a floss tube before February 14th or not, but I plan on doing One Eye Survey, which is from Heartstring Samplery.
Yes.
Now I have the individual pattern. Sallie has the book. I just have the individual pattern for that one. So, and I bought the fabric and the floss, so I just got to pip it up, get it all prepared.
Yep.
Pipping
is hard.
Yep. So I just got to basically put the floss on floss drops and find a Q-snap that will fit.
Ah, I got you. So. Well, I plan to work on my fish and chips Sorry about that, Jack. I didn't mean to wake you up. You were sleeping so nicely. Go back to sleep, buddy. Anyway, continue working on that and pick up Summer Quaker. I also want to work on the Angel of Love because I want to do her sleeves. I want to try to get all the cross stitch, the DMC part done, hopefully. And then maybe in March I can concentrate on the fancier stuff, all that braid and stuff. This month I did not pull out my Peacemaker Angel from Teresa Kogut. I've almost got a page finish on that one, but the face is so confetti heavy. Plus there are some confetti stitches in the wings that I had left out before. And then as I said earlier when I was showing my In the Garden, I've got 2 Sundays to work on that, and then I'll start on my Lenten stitch, which is also When I Survey. That one just crossed, but I haven't picked my fabric or my threads yet.
On our last floss tube, I said that I would work on my reading tracker, but I'm just now on book 10 of the 11 books I needed to add to finish the shelf. So I decided to set that one aside, but I am on book 10 right now, so hopefully by the next floss tube, I will be able to finish the first shelf and get the second shelf outlined.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Reading Tracker by Stitching Cabin, and that's on Etsy.
Mm-hmm.
And she also has a floss tube.
Oh, okay.
But it's very hit and miss to catch up with her.
Oh, so it's not like once a month. It's not okay.
No, a lot of it's about her designs sometimes, and I get kind of turned off by people who just spend the whole time talking about their designs.
Well, I mean, that's how they get the word out.
I understand it, but I want to watch it because I have fellow stitchers, and I'm not a designer, so I don't get into it all that much.
You mean you're not a designer? You designed the commandments.
I wrote up the words. You designed it.
Oh no, I just stuck it in my program and picked the font I liked.
I come up with the ideas.
It was all back stitching.
And I'll convert things, but I don't do a lot of designing. You got some plans?
Oh yeah, I spoke them. I didn't show them.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay because
they haven't seen some of these.
Right.
So.
Well, there you go. Well, see, I didn't bring Peacemaker. I didn't bring Peacemaker Angel, but everything else they've seen.
I'm almost finished with another page. So when I saw how close I am, I decided I'm going to pull out Super Mario, and I love working on Super Mario anyway. I have one page finished at the bottom, and I've almost got the other page finished on the other side at the bottom. And I can put my new needle minder on it when I find out what I did with it somewhere. I'm excited to get back to that because that's my favorite fabric. It's Blueberry by Fiber on a Whim. Mm-hmm. Whenever I see that on sale somewhere, I already bought 2 extra pieces. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I'm going to keep stocked up on Blueberry because fabric dyers are quitting left and right. So when you find something you like, you kind of need to stick with it.
Yeah, there you go. Put some stock in it.
So I don't think I'm going to show... I don't think I need to show the rest of these. I do want to say that last year I didn't do a single painting with diamonds, and I was frustrated when I looked at the ones that I've got one that's halfway done, a humongous one that's halfway done, that I really wanted to finish for Christmas last year, and I didn't stitch on it once or not stitch, but place the drills. They call them drills, the little beads that go on diamond painting. Not once, but there are 2 stitch-alongs coming out in February, and I looked for cross stitches that I could do for them, but I really wasn't. One is February 10th is dragons.
Yeah,
because it's Year of the Dragon.
And that's the start of the Chinese
And so a lot of
New
people
Year.
are doing dragon designs, and I couldn't find anything that, I wanted something small and cute. I found nothing.
There's not a dragon on the Mario one?
No.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
No.
Okay.
Those are turtles.
Oh, okay. They're really
Future Marios have those things.
Oh, okay, but not
the
the
monster
original.
at the end or whatever.
I gotcha.
But no. And the other is February 29th is Leap Day. for leap year.
Yes.
So people were starting items with frogs.
Oh.
Now I have one that I might start to stitch on that day that has frogs on it. Because I kitted it up last year. It's kitted up. It's ready to go. Except for putting a Q-snap on it. It's ready. But I looked at it and I just wasn't.
It's not
so Temu hit me up. Temu. It's an app.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of like a Chinese app for like Wish or whatever. Yeah. And they have a lot of diamond paintings. And one thing that came up was the cutest little dragon.
Ah, so you ordered it.
So I ordered a dragon and a frog.
Oh.
They both were cute. And
So
I thought, maybe I'll do that on those days. Because I do want to get back. And they're small. They're 8x8s. Actually, 7.87 by 7.87.
8x8.
Because, you know, they measure by centimeters over there. So it's whole numbers in centimeters. But by inches, it's
Parcels.
not.
Yeah, decimals.
So it says I'll receive them no later than Valentine's Day. But maybe by February 1st. Who knows? Because it is coming. Now, Temu has always delivered pretty quickly for me.
Oh.
I wish it could take months sometimes. But Temu, I placed 2 orders. I liked what I got, and I got it quick.
Well, see, with Wish, you just pay shipping. With Temu, you
don't pay
shipping because you're buying the product.
Like one diamond painting was like $2.64, and the others were like $1.62.
Mm-hmm.
No shipping. So I had nothing. I went ahead and got them. So I'm expecting that order to come in. I'm also expecting the Ukrainian box, hand carved box that holds mill hills.
The frames.
Kind of like a hoop frame for mill hills. You can stitch on it.
Mm-hmm.
Holds it in place, and you can finish it on that too, but it's very expensive. And it's taken months so far to get it in.
Well, I was watching Helen D, and she ordered one from a lady that was in America, but and shipped from the U.S., but that's because she had stock, and she's low, and she's expecting a order from the Ukraine.
Now, I looked at it, the prices were about the same, and I thought, this is a Ukrainian artist that needs the money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't support any of the war, but I also don't support people being hurt because of the war. So if I can do my part, so I ordered it and I'm waiting. When that comes in, I'll choose a mill hill to start. So those are some plans.
Hey, I found your purple.
I also plan on working on one of my. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
One of my 6 for 60 birthday starts. Wonder Whale was what I did this last time. And I'm ready to change from the whale for just a little bit. Maybe I'll go back to peacock. I don't know. But I'm hoping to start one of those. I got a whole stack of them here to try. And if I get stuck, I'm just going to move on. Because I stuck on January for the longest time. Forcing myself to stitch on it. And not stitching at all. Because I wanted only to stitch on that. You know. So I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to move on if it messing me up. I'm just going. And the only other one is on the 1st of every month now. People are working on their long dogs. So the 1st of every month I'll work on fish and chips.
Well, what I did this past month was I decided my goal was 7 days or a page finish. And with fish and chips, I got a page finish before I hit 7 days. But with the Summer Quaker, I hit 7 days. And with the Angel of Love, I got to a nice stopping point before I hit 7. I put 6 days on it. It just kind of depends. And some of my days, I have hours to stitch, and sometimes I don't. It just depends.
Yep. So, life updates. I got a haircut yesterday. Thank God, because it was so long. I was seeing it. It was touching my ears. And nope, couldn't do it. So it made me feel immensely better. And I feel like I've lost pounds every time I get a haircut. Even if it's only like an inch or over, it just feels like you lose so much weight off your head. I feel that way. For some reason, haircuts make me feel better. And I do simple haircut, you know, so.
Oh, well, mine's not.
I've enjoyed my new glasses.
Well, that's good.
I see them immensely better. I don't think it's because of the prescription as much as the astigmatism part. They really adjusted that for me, and I'm doing so much better. in fact, with January, which is on an 18 count, I didn't have to use my magnet clips.
Oh, wow.
So as long as I had light on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm immensely pleased about that. Are there any other life updates? Let's see.
I don't have any.
I don't think so. We should be back in a couple of weeks.
Yep. So that'll be in February.
We're
not going to give a definite date because it's just, we have to look at our schedule. It just depends on
generally
the
we
schedule.
try 2 weeks, but you know, today's a Friday. Well, normally we try on Wednesdays. So
yes.
Who knows when we're going to come back? Probably before Lent starts. That's 14th.
Right. That would be good.
Probably.
I hope we can because I'm going to be out of town the 15th through the 18th.
Yeah. And then February is kind of a short month anyway, so we want to kind of do it before the 14th so we can do it. We try to do 2 a month.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Here in South Carolina, it's been very cold for us, but compared to everybody else, you know, we don't have a negative 18 degrees or 10 inches of snow.
No.
We got down to 18 degrees one night, and with the wind chill, it was considered 10.
Sunday morning.
Which for South Carolina was harsh, and a lot of people found out their furnaces weren't working anymore. That was not a good thing.
No.
Some people had pipes bursting because they didn't understand they were supposed to let the faucets drip and cover the outside.
I covered the outside, and I didn't let my faucets drip, but my house was warm enough on the inside that it kept it from freezing.
If your water pipes are on the outside of the house, your faucet is on the outside wall, then it's best to leave it dripping just to be safe.
Have a cover on.
You definitely should cover the outside
spigots,
but
some people open their cabinets on the inside.
Yeah, opening your cabinets helps the heat get to the pipes. So we had some things like that happening, but we didn't have half the stuff happening that people in the north.
No, and today the high is going to be close to 80.
I'm very pleased to be living in one of the 3 states in the United States that has not had snow yet.
Yeah, I made that comment the other Sunday night after bell choir practice, and they're like, "Don't jinx it, don't jinx it."
No, I'm very pleased. And Hawaii, Florida, and South Carolina have not had snow yet. Let's keep it that way, yeah?
No, I want a few flurries. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of snow. Just a little bit. In Florence. I'll keep it in Florence.
Too many car accidents. People can't drive in the rain, let alone if they see a snow flurry.
Yeah, well, there was an accident on South Center Road today as I was coming in between whatever road I'm on and 401.
Cold rain. They don't realize the roads are slick, that the oils have, come up. And with the water and the oil, you just can't drive like a maniac.
No.
So there's a lot of accidents happening because people can't drive in weather conditions.
That's why when it snows, I stay at my house.
Yeah.
Or I walk to someone else's house.
And so anyway, what I'm pleased about too is daylight is moving. We're getting more and more daylight.
Right. Yes, because after December 21st, you get a little bit more each day until June 21st, and then you start losing it.
Yep.
Although you don't notice it because...
We would normally see more sunlight, but because it's been so cloudy all week, we have not seen the sun. It's just been clouds and rain. Clouds and rain. But Mr. Arthritis is going to leave my presence hopefully in March when we get back to better weather and a better season and more sun. Because that's what really sad is caused by is lack of sun and vitamin D.
Affective disorder, yes.
And I don't have sun lamps or anything like that. First of all, I have psoriasis, so I don't want any heat applied to my skin. It's already dry enough as it is. But that's about all we've got. And we hope that you enjoyed our show, that you'll press the thumbs up button, or subscribe would be nice. We reached 200.
We did reach 200. So now we're waffling, it's one of those things. You get a few, you lose a few. You get a few, you lose a few.
Get all excited. But 11 Floss Tubes in and over 200, that's almost 20 per show. So
I didn't think of it that way. I was thinking it would take us 5 years to get 1,000.
Might be if we keep pushing their shows off, but yeah.
Oh, well.
But we're really pleased, and we hope you enjoyed what we showed you. We try to show you things that not everybody is showing.
And one of these days, I'm going to figure out how to insert previous pictures of where we were and where we are. But I haven't taken the time to do that because that takes away from my stitching time.
Yes, so we will see you soon. Be sure to comment if you have any favorites or you have any questions. We'd love to see some comments as well. We hope that you're taking care of yourself and that you will continue to stitch.
Yes.
Happy stitching, everybody.
Yes. Bye-bye.